The Ride Home podcast is produced for entertainment purposes only. Anything said on the show is not to be imitated or acted upon. Please listen responsibly and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Ride Home podcast. And if you're on your ride home, roll down your window, honk your horn, and scream Naruto as loud as you can whenever you see an anime sticker pass you by. Alright, guys. We are going to be doing some really interesting stuff here. This is a topic that I've been wanting to do since the conception of this podcast. We're going to do an anime roundtable. And what that is we're just going to go with a couple of questions and we're going to answer them one by one and, see where the conversation takes us. Typical ride home fashion. As always, today I am joined by guests and co-hosts. First up, we have Rosgrees up here. Say hello, buddy.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Rosgrees.
I tweak you just a little bit. When you get up on your mic like that, it brings you down just a tad. That's good. Okay. Hey, I got a sound check. I got to make sure we sound good. Some people apparently have issues listening to our earbuds, Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
But yeah, he's been on this show before, so that's what it is. Now, our next two guests, this is interesting. This will be their first time on the show. First up, we have a good friend of mine, ladies and gentlemen. I am introducing you to my good buddy, Lumpy Custard.
Hey, it's me, Lumpy Custard.
And I feel like you're going to learn a lot of his anime tastes by the end of the day. I feel like me and him spiritually connect, but like for different reasons. I've been wanting him on an anime episode for a good minute, so this is really good. And then lastly, joining us up today, we also have the Anime Logician. He is a YouTuber and content creator. Say hello.
What is up? What is going on? Good to be here.
All right, I think we are all set with introductions. Roz, what are you doing?
Bored.
I know the audience are just like, what's up? But like, yeah, he's got incense burning in the background. He's got his little hat going on. I keep all the raw video. We might repurpose that someday. I don't know. Anyway, to the topic. So we're just going to be doing a roundtable on anime that we've been watching. The first thing I like to start out with, because I feel like the past shouldn't be forgotten, let's talk about recent rewatches in anime. Do we have a volunteer for going first?
Me.
Go for it. You were ready for that one, weren't you?
Dude, you know it, man. So the most recent rewatch that I am watching, I'm actually currently watching A Certain Scientific Railgun, season 2. So, and on top of that, I am also rewatching Magical Girl Lyrical Nonoha. So that's also I'm on season 2.
Nonoha's a classic. Not a lot of people know about that one.
It's that Magical Girl vibe, man. I don't know. I just got to.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So yeah, that's my recent rewatches.
Have you like noticed anything? Like, has anything stood out to you in your rewatch so far?
Not really with Railgun, since I've seen it so much. With Magical
you've
Girl,
seen it a lot.
Yes. With
how many times would you say you've rewatched A Certain Scientific Railgun?
Oh my god, I think I'm in my 4th run through right now.
Whew. That is pretty out there, man.
And are you including? Does that rewatch include Magical Index too, since they're kind of parallel series?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna finish Railgun first, and then I'm gonna jump on Index.
Okay, so you're just going through the more lighthearted slice of life one first.
Yeah.
That's the one I get recommended on a daily basis by Steve. Like, he keeps pushing it. I mean, I can certainly say that I've never watched Railgun. I've watched Index for about 5-6 episodes, and that was a drop. Too much to his disappointment, it was a drop.
I'm part of.
Serious.
I'm actually part of. Oh, go ahead, Lumpy, real quick.
I was gonna say I'm actually part of the minority group who likes Index better than Railgun. I mean,
Damn. I respect that though.
I don't know what it was. It's just like I was told to watch in the traditional order. You know, you go season 1 Index, season 1 Railgun, season 2 Index, season 1 Railgun, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But thing about it is, I think it's a little psychology involved in that because since I watched Index first, that was what I plugged into my head as the main story. So in a comparison, Railgun felt like a side story, albeit parallel to the main story. So that's just me.
But yeah, 4 rewatches, dude. That's I think I can count the number of series that I've actually rewatched that many times or more on one hand.
That makes one of us.
Oof.
I mean, to be fair, I've always tried getting into the series, but because I hear a lot of people talking about it, Steve has actually recommended me that as well.
Oh yeah, he's all over it. If you guys remember Steve, he was in our Ren Fair episode back in episode 2. Go check that one out.
I guess for me, I've been rewatching a lot of Cowboy Bebop just because to me, I get back to it and I think, wow, this is such a good anime. And I've noticed that the animation, even though it's not as good compared to like some of the things recently released, it still holds up compared to a lot of anime overall.
Yeah,
And
Bebop's honestly just a vibe. I can see why that, because I've noticed that there's a lot of people who hate on shows that have that level of like fan base. Evangelion is a really good example for that. I think a lot of people are just displeased with how it all turns out in the end, and they were kind of looking for something different. But it's its own thing. Do I think it's a little overrated? Maybe. I like it, but it's definitely not one I would put in as like, you have to watch this, like, you know, you must. It's a done deal.
For Evangelion or Cowboy Bebop?
Bebop. And honestly, both if you think about it. But Evangelion, like, if you take it for what it is, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. And that's the same it comes out to with Bebop, because I honestly, I hear a lot of negativity over Bebop. For every person you see in a Spike Spiegel shirt, you get someone else who's just like, I fucking hate that show. It's a very, very divided community there.
I like Bebop much better than Evangelion, if I'm being honest.
That's respectable. I mean, I like Evangelion more, but that's me.
I mean, to be the black sheep in the room.
Why does it have to be a black sheep?
I don't know. Just to be
you couldn't just be the like pink sheep, or pick another color.
Ugly
duckling. The Baka Rangers. Never mind.
It's all right.
Another episode.
I get shit edited, but Baka Rangers, yeah, I know exactly what you're going for there. That's on my list to rewatch, but it's unfortunately not on my topics for tonight. As great of a show as it is, But where else are we? Anything else you got, Logician?
Aside from that, I've been trying to get back into One Piece, and this is a whole chore, my dude.
Oh man,
that's a rough path to walk. It's the sacred pilgrimage of anybody who's like diehard shonen.
I just can't.
I mean, for me, it's because back in the day I watched it when it was on 4Kids, right?
Yeah.
And
oh man,
I dropped it around episode 500, which I feel bad for because I gotta rewatch everything, and it sucks. It is a chore, and to be fair, I do like One Piece. I feel like a lot of the character design, development, and world building is amazing. I always hear people comparing it to like, oh, what's better, Naruto, Bleach, and all this other nonsense. And to me, it kind of gets to a point where it does get irritating. So I won't lie, it's not,
Not just that, but the fan base back in the day was so divided. Not that they aren't now, but like, I was around for cons back in 2012. The fan base, honestly, were the ones pushing that divide. You have Naruto people and Bleach people getting into literal arguments, almost fist fights in the middle of mall food courts. I wonder who could have been a part of that, dressed as Kakuzu of the Akatsuki. But, I feel like the fan bases really blow those out, and then you really get the big three, or big four, I guess, is kind of... It's always a big number, and, I mean, people can just keep adding to it. There's no way to tell what's what anymore. But, like, One Piece is one of those critical shonen staples, because if you got into anime when you were younger, chances are you looked into Shonen Jump or the remnants of what was on 4Kids to kind of see what else was out there, if you had that inquisitive mind back then.
I was part of the Toonami generation.
One
Let's see.
Piece?
Out of
Oh, you were
out
part
of
of the Toonami generation.
yeah, no, I was part of the
Okay.
Toonami generation.
Yeah, I
but
misheard.
Out of
That's my fuck up.
see, out of everything I've watched on Toonami, though, the one I clicked with most was Fully Cooley, personally.
Yes.
And Fully Cooley and Rurouni Kenshin were my two favorites. But when someone tells me they like anime and they mention something like One Piece, Naruto, or Bleach or something like that, that's like telling me you like metal and telling me your favorite bands are like Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you respect them, but at the same time, it's just like, okay.
It's
So
cool that you like this kind of music, but I wish you would actually look beyond that first layer, See what else
yeah,
is out there.
That is true. That is true. And I feel like I would have to put the thanks to my uncles for putting me onto like shonen, because I was more into like shonen magazine. I had a stack of them back in the older days.
I think all of us probably had stacks of some or other. I had Game Informers and Shonen Jumps, like, out the wazoo.
Dude, mine was Otaku magazine.
Ooh.
I
You remember
I
New
skipped
Type USA?
Yes.
I skipped that era. I went from being casual fan to like not being a fan for almost 7 years to being a hardcore fan overnight in college.
Oof.
Yeah.
So
You know what got me into collecting Shonen magazine? It was that damn Yu-Gi-Oh card that they put in the back one time.
Yes.
And that was what I peeked through, and I was reading all the comics, like, because, I bought it for the card, but I was like, I may as well look at this book, and that was my first introduction to One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, anything beyond Dragon Ball, which at the time, it was the Cell Saga being serialized. Put it to Naruto perspective, we were volume somewhere between 2 and 4. It was pre-Haku. It was when they were on their way to the Mist Village, and they got attacked, and Naruto like gets poisoned, and he's like, he stabs his hand, like. That's that level of where serialization was. That's how old, we're talking here. One Piece was volume 3. They were fighting Buggy, like, for the first time.
Yeah.
Shit's wild.
I'm surprised you remember that.
I remember everything about that magazine because I read it cover to cover multiple times. It really showed me the other world, because at the time anime was sort of banned in my house. That was around the time of the Time Warner Cable Chobits incident. Or Chobits incident, where I watched the first episode of that with my parents, and once they saw a finger going somewhere where you shouldn't really want to be putting a finger, and the kid watching that, they're like, okay, anime's done. Dude, they were wary around Dragon Ball and Hamtaro after that.
Wow.
Good old
Eventually, we
ham-yams.
got a lot looser, though. I mean, obviously, I've kind of grown anime as, centering around my life. But, okay, so we've heard those rewatches. Lumpy, what have you been up to?
oh boy, where do I start? once all the dubs and uncensored versions started storming into Crunchyroll after the merger, boy, have I been going to town on things.
Binge time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was I rewatched from start to finish some of my favorite ecchis, starting with one of my, I don't know if I'd call it a top 5, but it's pretty damn close. And this is going to be a flaming hot take. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Okay,
I love that.
That
Okay.
one's pretty good. I thought when you said one of your favorite ecchis, my mind went to, like, old school. Like, my mind started going back to the days of Girls Bravo and,
Love Rue.
yeah,
DxD.
not even High School DxD at that time. That was pretty old. I don't know. I'm an anime old man, so.
Well, was it? Yeah, but especially since there was a new season, I always kind of prefer to watch dubs, just because, like, subs are sometimes the voice acting is just subjectively better in subs. I agree with that sentiment, but it's just funny to hear like a Western meme occasionally shoved in there sometimes.
And there's sometimes, and then there's the case of something like Sergeant Frog, where it's like every 5 minutes you get a reference to Facebook. Like, they push it, like, oh my god.
And
True.
speaking of old ecchi anime, another one I watched was High School DxD. I finally watched the dub, and I don't even know why I ever watched the sub. The dub is just subjectively better.
Oh,
The
yeah.
dub is magically comedic.
Agreed.
Koneko's
Yeah.
voice actress is just dead ass on delivery.
Oh yes, Konako, her voice actress was pristine. Even like Oh my goodness, it was just so good. It's just like I'm never watching the sub again if the dub's available, and I ever decide to rewatch this. This is what I will watch.
And I mean that's what it is, kids. Like there's been the sub dub feuds. I'm gonna say it's like Lumpy said. The delivery is often better because the Japanese voice actors put a lot of power into it. But there's some of U.S. actors who can really do the same thing. Rico Fajardo, for example, is a recent new one. He played the like manager guy for the Zombie Idol group in Zombieland Saga, and his delivery was spot fucking on. Shows like Defrag, I would watch in dub. You know, Konosuba, I prefer. The sub is great, but like the dub has its moments. I can't say I truly prefer the dub, but you know what I mean. Dubs, give them a chance. If they're not hitting and they're not taking, fuck it, switch to sub. You're justified in that. But like, give them a shot. There are some. I'm not going to talk about recent ones because, dear God, dubbing seems to be getting worse and worse. But there was a golden era where certain companies, I'm not going to say which ones, but they actually gave a shit about their writers and who they hired to adapt their scripts. Now, not so much. But anyway, my rant's over.
Yeah, that's a. I feel like that conversation about individual subs and dubs that are good could literally go on for like half a
That'll
day.
fill. Yeah. No. Let's keep the podcast under an hour and a half.
What was it, But yeah, it's like we watched those two, and what was it? My buddy here was gonna lend me his physical copies of the light novels of A Sister Is All You Need, so I rewatched that. I watched the dub this time. Also like the dub better than the sub in this case.
I was about to say that was your first time watching the dub?
Yeah.
My first time watching it was in dub, and man, I can't even imagine the sub voices because I don't know what they sound like. The dub is that good, and that is one that has passed over 3 rewatches for me. Would be Sister's All You Need.
Yeah, that's a good one, but now I've got material past the story, which is I've only watched something to the point where I delved deeper into the source material 4 times actually. It was Spice and Wolf was my original, and as everyone in this specific group knows, I own an ungodly amount of Spice and Wolf merch, probably well over $1,500 worth.
It is impressive.
True.
Then what was it? I love Spice and Wolf. Another one was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You know, kind of normie tier, but you know, I enjoyed it. I really did, especially the second arc. Then Rising of the Shield Hero, which unfortunately I had to take a break from the light novels. The story kind of got real slow after the first arc, but I plan on finishing those one day. I got to I think volume 14, and there's 22 out now.
Yeah, I recall you saying that the light novels weren't as good as the anime for Shield Hero.
Well, it was mostly just the writing. It was very written kind of like a fan fiction in my opinion. They spent more time talking about the world's systems than they did actually progressing the story. But that aside, that is a conversation for another day.
Oh yeah, then, light novel talk can happen at some point.
And then what was it after that? My most recent edition, A Sister Is All You Need, which he let me how many 5, 6 books? I'm halfway through the second to last one already. So yeah, this is one of the rare occasions where I delve in past the source material.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's one that is not going to get another season, unfortunately. It just didn't do very well, and it's pretty sad. It also didn't help that the anime itself was basically an advertisement for foreign beer. So that and board games, like tabletop games. So
yeah, sure.
But I mean, it's so weird that you have Haganai, for example. The light novels for A Sister's All You Need were written by the same author. It was Yomi Hirasaka. But Haganai, the manga caught on so well in the U.S. and it actually got 2 seasons worth of anime adaptations. But we still haven't got the light novels, which is just crazy to me. But because the manga sold so well, I guess they didn't want to confuse things. Itachi, the guy who did the art for those manga, because Yomi obviously didn't draw this shit. But, you know what I mean? His artwork caught on. They didn't want to confuse the stuff, I guess. But, yeah, it's just weird to think that they're, authors that their anime could, like, one anime could do so well and then their other anime just kind of flops. It's weird.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Me next? As
I
most
think
recent?
you went.
What did I?
You did rewatches for Nanoha and
Railgun.
Railgun. I think I'm the only one. I'm waiting for Lumpy to finish.
I think I'm about done. I mean, besides that, I rewatched. When you were talking about watching Eromanga Sensei, I rewatched that a couple weeks ago. But that would be my third
Yeah.
rewatch of that, so there's no surprise there.
So anything from those rewatches that stood out your next time around, or?
Well, what was it? How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Just like, I love that anime. It's like probably one of my most rewatched. It's up there with like Steins Gate. What was it? Konosuba, and not to be confused with a similar counterpart, Gate, which is another one of my favorites.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Very
I
underrated.
respect that.
Yeah, what was it? It's moving up. Eromanga's moving up the ladder. I mean, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is moving up the ladder on that list, and Eromanga's not far behind it now that I mention it. But and then like I said, I discovered that A Sister All You Need dub is
Oh, yeah.
10 times better than the sub.
Yep, just like Defrag and stuff like that. The dubs can just work better. Sometimes they're horrendous. I'm not gonna go too far into detail, but one of my recent, I guess it's not a rewatch. I'm finally watching the anime adaptation, but I played through the game for Little Busters. After going through a visual novel like that, the delivery from some of these characters and the poor casting decisions alone just speaks volumes, man. To like how much can you fuck up a dub? One of the greatest things about it was Greg's portrayal of Masato. He sounds so like, holy shit, this isn't Masato. But like, if you actually go through the game and you realize how he's acting, like, actually, he's one of the only people who acts true to their character. It's really out there. But no, my rewatches, as you've said already, I have been rewatching. Fuck me, dude. I'm toasted already. Like, we just started. I've been rewatching Eromanga Sensei. And this time around, I've been, paying a little more attention. Like, it's a really good story, but when you get down to it and the nitty-gritty of all of it, when you really go through those levels, you get to the point where it's like, this really is just about a brother and sister who are thirsty for each other, isn't it? Like, Jesus fuck.
Step,
yeah,
this
step
is not
brother and
Oremo.
sister. Okay, yeah. Well, even in Oreimo, wasn't it just a half sister?
half sister is still somewhat
That's
blood
still
related.
blood related. That's
Yeah.
still one biological parent. No.
Yeah, what was it? Eromanga, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other blood wise, so it's a little safer.
Even so, it's just a little safer, yeah, but still, what the fuck? But no, I like Sagiri as a character. She's fucking awesome, and the supporting cast was really good. Yamada Elf, and then fuck, I keep forgetting her name, because he's Masamune. She's another M word. The other author who's like outselling him by millions, and addicted to his work. Her name's fucking right now because of my head.
Yeah. It's like I've watched that show so many times that I can't ever think of her name just because her name's so similar to the main characters.
It's a part of the fucking show. That's a plot point. Well, I mean, for her little side arc anyway. But no,
Wasn't it Muramasa?
Muramasa, there you go. Masamune Muramasa. But yeah, dude, like there's good side characters, and then you get those like insert characters like Yamada's brother. Like
Yeah.
that whole island thing, and then you like learning her real name and all. It's like so good. Such a great episode. It's honestly a really good anime. I cringe aside, guys, it's worth checking out. But I've noticed a little more deeper, like, Jesus fuck, this is pretty rough. This is hard to watch. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, you should go watch this. Like, okay, cool, what's it about? And you're just like, you know what? I'll show you something else. It's kind of fucky. What were you saying, Lumpy? I'm lost.
You were the one talking, my man. You took over.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. No, I mean that's the point I was getting across. Is like you want to recommend it to people, but at the same time, if they ask what it's about, it's hard to bring that up.
Unless you're me. I'm probably one of the more unfiltered people in our friend group.
Well,
so
I also though I recommend it to people who are not really. I try when I do anime recommendations. I mostly give them to people who don't already watch anime. So it's,
Same.
you know, if you're giving a recommendation to a coworker who is like, hey, I want to get into anime, what should I watch? That's one you don't want to, yeah, you don't talk about it. But I rewatched Data Live Season 1 because I have just finished the books that go up to Season 2, and I wanted to kind of compare. I've rewatched Konosuba for probably the 5th or 6th time now, Season 1 and 2. And then I've been watching a YouTube project of mine that I'm trying to get off the ground, a retrospective on the anime Denki Gai. This is the last one. Denki Gai, or Denki Gai ni Honya-san. Yeah, I'm all shitty, bro. Denki Gai is good, man.
Man.
I don't want to go too into detail because of the YouTube video I'm trying to put out, but it's from the same manga author as the currently running show. What is it? The little girl, Aharen-san.
Aharen-san.
Yeah, you know it. You guys
Yes.
know it. The little classmate that can't be understood by her high school dude, and they kind of get into a relationship. Very, very interesting looking show. Haven't watched it because of the Denki Gai rewatch, but yeah, rewatches have been going pretty smooth anime wise. So yeah, there's a bunch of titles for you guys to go check out, loyal listeners. So,
All right.
Sorry, guys,
What's-
mechanical keyboard.
Oof. What about modern rewatches?
what do you mean?
Modern rewatches.
Like how modern are we going? You said like one of the.
Okay, we're not rewatches. So the next topic,
Oh.
you're scooting on over to the next topic, which is currently running or recently aired shows. Like, what have you been watching that came out like this year? And we'll go around the
Ew.
table with that. I know that you and me have not too much to say here,
Yeah.
so for us it's going to be kind of brief. The plan was to have Steve here, who is the god of recent shows. So this is going to be a very short segment, I assume. But that's the way that goes. So
Wait, so Steve is the one that keeps you up to date on like recent stuff?
I wouldn't say keeps me up to date, more as saying, hey, you interested in watching this show? Yeah, I totally am. It's garbage. Don't do it.
Oh.
And then
Okay,
that
makes
just
sense.
keeps me from watching shows. If anything, Steve's a deterrent to my anime lifestyle. But no, I've been watching a few recent ones, but only a few, unfortunately. Like, the internet has been trying to cram Spy Family down my throat. And, like, I'm not ready to watch it yet. I mean, I'll probably end up binging that one post, launch. It's not on my must-watch it, as it airs. And there actually isn't much this season that is on that list.
I have.
Mainly because I'm so fucking far behind in Data Live. Why would I, why would I even contemplate Season 4?
Agreed.
Mhm.
But, like, yeah, I think
I-
you and me are watching about the same thing, Brandon. Or close to.
I would say I have 3 right now that I'm currently watching. You don't mind if I take it?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm watching Kaginado.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure. That's
That
for
was
damn
one of
sure.
my only ones. So I'm going to weigh in just a little bit.
I'm watching Kaginado, and then I'm watching a couple of Cuckoos.
I haven't
think-
heard of that one, unfortunately.
Yes, it's like one of those triangle love rom-coms, slice of life things. I can't really explain it top of my head. I'm kind of behind.
I think we're all pretty damn behind this
What's
season.
the
Anyway.
one?
All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry, I Discord did the thing with my mic again.
Oh, I didn't know you were gone.
Yeah.
Shit, what was the other one? Oh, Q. Q.
Q?
See, oh,
Is it
Q
like,
it's all girls. There's some Yuri vibes in there, but it's about voice acting, and like new up and coming girls are trying to get into the voice acting scene, and this and that. And then different girls will branch off to like idol groups, marketing, a podcast, basically, and yeah, just try to make it up there.
And it's just called Q?
Yeah.
Like the
C-U-E.
letter?
No, CUE.
Oh, Q-U-E.
Like
Dude,
that's
I'm
what
I'm over here like Q anime, and it's like anime series that begin with Q.
Q?
Okay?
see, Modern anime is not a good topic for me to talk about because not only do I watch maybe like 2 shows a season, but I also don't touch it until it's completed. I don't watch it in real
Ooh.
time because I don't have good comprehension.
See, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
like I'm a big Shield Hero fan, and I have not watched a single episode of it yet. I usually wait till
And
it's like near the end.
I've only seen
Hmm.
2 episodes of Shield Hero, and then I decided, well, the manga is it's there, it's better.
I mean, I personally like watching things as they go, like especially if it's a more suspenseful show. Some of my better ones where I watched it weekly, I have fond memories of watching things like Erased or the Danganronpa, like when they did their double anime that season, and it was you had to watch episode 1 and then episode 2. I mean, episode 1 of the other show, then episode 2, the episode 2, 3, 3, and just like building there. You know what I mean?
All right, guys, we're recording a podcast.
Yes,
I was
we
like,
are.
I messaged the
I
chat.
think you know. I think you knew. I think you
channel.
knew we are.
No, I actually didn't.
Oh.
I wasn't told anything.
Yeah. So you
Sorry.
guys are using the private VC, the Twitch VC anyway. So like, y'all are in the secret channel. So we just stayed in gaming after Kevin left.
Sorry, you guys have a good podcast. My bad. I just came to say hi. Bye. Love you.
You're good, buddy.
See ya.
I wonder what time he decided to stop streaming. Dude was on like an 8 or 9 hour binge last time I checked.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, he streams for a long time.
he's out there.
But yeah, I'm talking
you-
about. Go ahead.
You
Sorry.
should I mean, if the whole like up and coming VAs and the girls trying to get over the fears of certain roles and this and that, then I mean, go for it. The anime is really good. I personally like the anime, but because of like the anticipation of whether or not these girls are going to make it into the VA role and this and that, it's kind of tough on them. It's like oh god, what's another anime I could think of? Sound Hibike, right? The whole band anime, see if they could make it out there to like division regionals and be the top school in the whole.
So it's
region.
like a school for voice acting.
No, it's a company. It's a brand new company.
Okay, I'm just lost on this show entirely.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to like, I couldn't even find it. I've given up.
What? It's a Crunchyroll.
I've never heard of Q. I will have to look into it.
Sounds interesting. But on the topic of waiting till seasons end versus watching it in real time, I have watched certain anime in real time. Like anime, I really look forward to that don't involve too much continuity. Like I watched Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro in real time, and
Yes.
everyone who knows me knows my obsession with that manga before it was even an anime.
Yeah.
I've been reading
Yeah.
it since like I think like 2014 when it was like before it even like had official English translations. But you know, stuff like that. But if it's really reliant on continuity, I typically will not watch it episodically. I wait till it's done or 1 or 2 episodes from being done. Like I'm doing with Shield Hero this season, and yeah.
I actually have to get back to watching Shield Hero. I've actually been needing to watch that. I think I'm on season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've,
we're on season 2.
I've read way past season 2, but that's I haven't watched season 2 yet.
I haven't touched Shield Hero yet.
Its first season's really good. It's, dare I say, it peaks in its first arc. I'm hesitant to say that because I don't want to talk people out of watching it, but it kind of does.
I mean, some anime just tend to do that.
That's
What was
true.
it,
That's true.
I mean, it's
And I,
better
for
than
one-
having a flat first arc that you quit the anime before, you know, things get good. That was like Index for me.
Ooh. So the couple of cuckoos, right? So pretty much they're switched from birth. Basically, so one of them is like a deadbeat Yankee, a deadbeat like family lifestyle of like delinquents and this and that, and the other one is like a pretty much rich lifestyle, and their kids are switched from birth. So later on, they will like their parents get together, and then they will try to do a what's it called, a forced marriage, basically.
Like an
So-
arranged marriage.
An arranged marriage. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all hell just breaks loose. Downhill. Goes from downhill from there. Kaginado, there's no explanation for Kaginado so far. It's just one of those. Oh my god. Cruz, you could explain Kaginado better than I can.
Yeah, I definitely will. But I think what's keeping me from a lot of this season's anime is the fact that the majority of it's only been we've only had the winter and spring seasons technically so far this year, and we're sitting at a lot of season 2s this spring, and then come summer
Yeah.
we got quite a few more. Summer we have some long time awaited season 2 stuff on the way. I know a bunch of people who are going to be checking in on the Devil's Apart timer. That one is finally getting a second season after their novels have buried it into like 4 or 5 seasons in advance.
Wow.
Not coming, anytime soon, I don't think. But Konosuba finally got new seasons announced. We got season 3 and we got the Megumin Explosion spinoff. One of the cool things about being a light novel reader is I already know exactly what's going to happen in both of those series, all the way from beginning to end. I would be on what would be season 4. The thing is, though, you can't get, because they're going to adapt 7, 8, and 9. I mean, 6, 7, and 8. You can't go into season 9 without going to Explosion first. So I was wondering if they were going to do a movie. Like, when they did that reveal, I knew season 3 was coming. But, like, is it going to be a movie for the Megumin, or is it going to be a couple of OVAs? What are they doing? But they're doing a full-on season, which, how they're going to spread that shit out, I don't know. Because it's 3 books, and the events in them take place relatively quickly, all the way up to the point where she meets Kazuma. But it's going to be really cool for you guys to go back and see that, especially if you're a Konosuba fan, because those Megumin Explosion spinoffs have so many references, because, like, it's happening in real time with, it's before the first volume, but the later volumes also happen in real time with the first volume of Konosuba. So it's very, like, when Kazuma and Aqua came into the world, they saved Megumin's life. The coincidences that bring them all together for reasons. And, like, we have so many good arcs coming up for Konosuba Season 3, man. The Princess Iris arc is going to be hilarious. Darkness gets her arc. Aqua, the Aqua versus Eris Festival arc. It's going to be amazing. Get ready for Season 3. I'm going to stop gushing about that, though. But, like, you know what I mean. We got a lot of new seasons coming this summer, dude. We got Uzaki is coming probably in the fall. Unfortunately, not hitting summer. But we are getting Rent-a-Girlfriend Season 2 this summer. We are getting the 3rd and final season of Utaware Rumono. We are getting
Quintuplets movie here
the
soon.
Quintuplets movie.
Yes.
Nagatoro season 2.
Yes.
Soon.
It got announced.
Not exactly next season, but soon. That'll probably hit around the same time as probably Konosuba. Probably winter, if not beyond.
I think Yuzaki-chan season 2, right?
Uzaki's probably going to be fall, if I had to guess. Especially because they already had summer arcs in the first season. My guesses are going to try and push it towards September, October. It'll be in Q3. That's
Yeah,
just
then,
educated guess.
We've got Data Live season 4, which started recently.
Yeah, that was this season. Yeah, dude, there's fucking Kaguya's on season 3. I didn't even finish season 2. There's a lot out there, man. There's quite a few decently looking new shows, but they're not super great. Like, I'd rather watch the 2nd season of The Demon Girl Next Door than, this Giaimon Recipe for Happiness or Dance Dance Dancer. I'll be over there chilling with the demon girl who sucks at life. It's a great show if you've never seen it. But anything you've been watching that's come out this year, Logician?
For the past 2 years, maybe the past year. So
Okay, we'll extend a little into last year just for a safety net, because obviously we're all out of touch. I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot when I go to a-kon this weekend and I don't know anything that happened in Spy Family. I'm gonna get torn apart by my own staff members. Watch, I'm just gonna feel like an old man the whole weekend. I'm gonna take my cane.
That is one thing I have been watching is Spy Family because my brother recommended it to me and I have been reading the manga.
Mhm.
And honestly, it's just really amazing because I think within this season, a lot of the popular anime that's been popping up has been shonen based, like that new Dragon Ball Z thing. I didn't even know
mean-
about that.
When are they not shonen based though?
That is true. What's funny to me is I don't even think Spy Family is shonen. Is it?
It's not. It's definitely in the middle ground. It's not a battle series. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
more. If I had to compare it to something, it'd be like Bakano or what else? Like the mid tier, like not exactly shonen, not exactly shoujo. It's more of a mature all arounder.
It's like the after story of a shonen, basically.
Something
'cause
like that.
all the
Yeah.
action's already happened. It's about the winding down.
A lot of people confuse shonen for like battle series, and it's a little different there because there's a lot of different types of battle series that spread beyond shonen. Shonen's just generally more targeted to a younger audience, usually younger males, but it's kid stuff. It's wacky, out there, crazy, get in your face kind of stuff.
Yeah. Not only have I been watching that, I've also finished up Tokyo Revengers, which I kind of regret watching because a lot of people were hyping it up, and what kind of annoyed me was the main character, as he was kind of this crybaby, so to say. And it got to me because I'm like, this is an anime about like a bunch of rival gangs in like Japan and all this other stuff, and I'm thinking, how did this guy get thrown into a gang in the first place out of nowhere? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's gonna definitely be like plot holes and stuff. I don't know if things are gonna fill in or how things are gonna work out. I still have to
Actually-
get onto it. It's
The one plot hole that did bother me was how they would go back in time with like no like idea how it's happening. Just the guy would just shake hands with the one of his friends, right? And they would go back in time to change things, and then it would just get worse in the future. And that was my whole issue with that anime, aside from the main character, is how they were going back and forth without any like machine or any explanation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sounds like a pretty pedestrian use of time travel to me too, because I have a high bar when it comes to time travel anime because of Steins Gate.
yeah.
Steins Gate is perfect with that.
But like, there's a lot of anime that have really good concepts like that, but then they fall flat on the execution. One of my ones of that would be like The Lost Village or Mayoiga. It starts off with a bunch of people who are on a bus to literally disappear from the world and possibly unalive themselves. It is a very dark and mysterious thing that turns into this supernatural, and which is fine at first, but it devolves into this just like, oh my god, where are you going with it? And it ruins the show towards the end. But like, if you were to watch the first episode, you would probably be legitimately creeped out on continuing. Like, it was that good, but it turned out, that bad.
Interesting.
So, we got any more recent stuff before we move on? I feel like this is a dead topic for us, just being the,
Yeah, I
levels
feel
we're
like
on.
I feel like it kind of is, because usually when I watch like anime, I have to like watch about 4 titles within like a new season, right?
Yeah.
But that's just me, you know.
Well,
Well, is it-
when we resume this in the future, hopefully we'll have watched a few more recent shows from 2022.
True. Yeah, I think I'm done with my
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, see, the thing about me is that like, I was kind of like I said earlier, I have a gap in being an anime fan, a pretty big one. So a lot of anime that are old are still kind of new to me. Not that I didn't watch oldies back when they were old, but I kind of took a pilgrimage away from anime for a few years. So to me, like I said, I mostly I alternate between backtracking and watching modern stuff, mostly in favor of the former.
I can agree with that, because there was at one point in time where I had to find myself because I had graduated school and I had to take about a year off from anime to figure out what I wanted to do.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right, so we're pretty much about to move off this topic. I'll just do my last little spill here. Want to talk Kaginato? This is one that me and Ross have been watching together. I wish I was further into season 2. I'll probably binge my way up there tonight later, but I fucking love it. It's a love letter to anybody who's followed key visual arts since the very beginning. The first season, for example, was Angel Beats. Not Angel Beats. I'm sorry. The one I'm not supposed to say, and I fucking say it right. The first season was Air, Canon, Clannad, Little Busters, Rewrite. Yeah, those 5. And that was that. Then the Angel Beats characters show up at the very end and announce a season 2, and shit just hits the fan. They have been fucking things up in only the way the Angel Beats characters can, and they really show their difference as opposed to like some of the more tropey game characters like Canon and Clannad and Little Busters, Rewrite, all that. It's a love letter if you've been following them for the past 15, 20 years, watching everything they've put out. One of my first anime of all time, like that I ever purchased the box set for, was Canon, and that's pre-Clannad. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Key, and Kaginato should really just be that, like, I feel like if someone watched it, they'd be lost. You know what I mean? You gotta experience some of the shit we've experienced for these jokes to hit. If one more motherfucker references their own death, I'm just done. The show's fantastic.
Wait. You're not in episode 20 yet in Kaginato, dude.
No, I'm not. And, like, you don't know where they're gonna go with this shit. Like, they reference their deaths. They group people together. Like, all the little sister characters get together, and all the, like, sibling characters are like, oh my god, are we, like, how fucked up are we to care about our siblings this much, There's at one point, there's the younger sibling tournament where the older siblings battle it out to see who's got the better younger sibling.
In like a Dragon Ball
and
Z
it's creepy
style, like, arena.
It's godly, though. This is a great show. It really points out how all of the key stuff, while being different universes, like, it points out all of the tropes for each one, like illness and terminal illness and dying is a part of it. Being a ghost or a spirit the whole time is part of it. Everything about it is fantastic. Like, it truly is the thank you for, supporting us this whole time and watching these anime or playing these games. It's awesome, man. But that's about as far as I go modern wise. I don't think I've watched very much this year. So we're done, with recents. To move forward, is there anything in the future you guys are looking forward to?
Me. I have a couple, dude. I have a couple. Rent a Girlfriend Season 2. Come on, camera. Me. Rent a Girlfriend Season 2. The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2. Dr. Stone, obviously.
Never got into Dr. Stone, unfortunately.
You never got into Dr. Stone?
And to be fair, Devil's a Part-Timer always fell flat for me. So I probably won't be watching. I didn't finish Season 1. I'm probably just going to read light novels, knowing me. Light novels have been doing better for me.
Oof. Kantai Collection Season 2.
Oh my god, is that a thing?
Yes. My boy in Christ, my brother in Christ. Both girls are coming back.
Interesting.
And I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. Top Team Epic Season 2.
I feel you on Rent a Girlfriend Season 2. I am very excited for that one. Unfortunately, while she's probably going to get smacked down because, manga, but...
Maybe...
Poor Ruka, dude. Like, Ruka's one of my favorite characters. She's great.
Maybe Dan Manchi. I don't know.
See, that's one that I fell off of, too. It's hard to pay attention to for me.
I disagree. I'm a huge Dan Machi fan. I'm very much looking forward to season
definitely
4.
Excited for the next season.
Yeah, I'm actually following Danmachi.
I did not watch Season 3. I just never found the urge to do it.
If I want to be toxic, Love Live Superstar, I'm still watching Love Live to this day. And my stepmom's daughter is my ex.
Okay, that one sounds good. That is the penultimate light novel title. And just...
I think you're gonna fucking edit that out because that's
I'm not... No, why would I edit that out? I'm excited for that one. That goes in my thing.
Wait.
All right, listeners, it's not.
Repeat the title real
bad.
quick. Repeat
My
the title real quick.
My stepmom's daughter is my ex. Okay, it's anime. Just putting that out.
So, can you imagine just your dad coming home one day and, like, get ready to meet... First of all, how the fuck do you marry this... No offense. Without introducing her to your child? And then maybe, just maybe, showing him who his future sister might be. And the fact that those two weren't already doing something at one point, which is... It just fucks shit up. The situation alone screams comedy, and I'm going to be right there along for that one.
Oh man, that's one I'm gonna.
One
watch
of mine for sure. It's not coming out till 2023. Unfortunately, it'll either be winter or spring. But next year you'll get to experience what I've been experiencing with these light novels. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten.
Yes,
that is a super wholesome thing. You Higgy Hero fans, y'all ain't got shit on this. It's really good.
A good one. That's pretty much my list. I'm done. That's pretty much what I got coming up in the next, give or take, month or two. Yeah.
So you're watching a lot of stuff I'm definitely not, but Rent a Girlfriend, I'll be right there. And like I said, obviously I'll be there for my stepmom's daughter's my ex. So what it is. What about you guys? Anything new?
If we're talking about future...
Yeah, what are you looking forward to?
To be fair, I'm going to try to backtrack and, try to follow up some of the anime that I've been missing out for the past few years. So
you're on like a reverse climb right now. You're catching up.
Yeah, because I have like a whole list of anime, and there's one particular... everyone's going to hate me for this, but I've yet to watch Konosuba.
I mean...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, I could see why. It's something that you see growing in popularity, and their memes are sprouting up everywhere, and you don't know if you want to get onto it or not. That's where, it's like me not watching Spy Family by this point. But
actually, you're actually dead on about that, because that was also with me on watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because I was like, should I watch it, or is it too memey?
I procrastinated JoJo for a long time. I tried season 1. I stopped. I gave it the legitimate run. Even one of my friends can vouch. I really did. But I've been told to kind of just recap that, try season 2, and see from beyond there. So that's on my list, but it's not anything I'll be doing soon.
I have another one. I just got curious and Googled this one, but it's called the maid I hired recently is mysterious. Dark skin maid, Shota. There you go.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Shota.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth the Google, I guess. Anyway, continue.
It's gonna be a comedy though. I know that for sure. And it looks good. I don't know. We'll see. Anywho, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go.
I feel like one of these I actually told you about recently, and it's because I told you I wasn't into this genre until recently, and that would be my teen romantic comedy Snafu.
See? I just couldn't get into that one.
I also struggled with it.
The ending made me punch a hole in the wall and break a Xbox controller. It was one of my favorite animes until it got to the ending.
Damn.
Damn.
Poor
Kyle.
Yeah.
That's about as Kyle as a weeb can get.
What was it? It was not literally, of course, metaphorically, but it was just like I had good things to say about that. I had tons of good things to say about that anime until I finished it.
Damn.
So
James also told me about that.
For that one, I'm probably gonna do light novels instead because I couldn't do the anime. I mean, I could probably try to give the anime another run, but move is probably gonna be get the books, especially because those books actually saved that publishing company. They were gonna go under until My Youth Romantic Comedy came out, and it was their top selling thing. It shot up the charts and just killed everything else out there.
Damn.
It saved that whole company. That's referenced in The Sisters All You Need, which is about light novel artists. Light novel authors. So it tells you a lot of the like history of, you know, that kind of stuff. And what's funny is the author for My Youth Romantic Comedy actually got to write a snippet review for A Sister's All You Need, and it got published with a bunch of other light novel reviews critiquing Hirosaka on that series and how it relates to the industry. It's kind of a cool little rabbit hole, especially if you've been going down light novels as much as I have.
I need to get started into light novels, to be honest.
Yeah, my recommendation would be to find a series that, not one that's caught up or completed, but find a series that's ongoing to where you can pass the source material, give that a try, or try a series that you've been interested in but have never watched the anime for. That's a really good way to just jump off the first gate. My first light novels were Sword Art Online, The Isolator, which highly recommend The Isolator, and Konosuba.
Technically, Spice and Wolf is still ongoing. He's still releasing, the author's still releasing after stories, so. I found out there was a volume I didn't have a couple months ago when my friend got it for my birthday.
Oh, damn.
I was like, wait, there's still novels coming out? What? I thought it ended in 2017.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's up to 22 now.
Damn.
The actual story ended at 18. So these are basically just after stories of after stories.
Dude, Akatsuki did that. Natsume Akatsuki did that with Konosuba. He gave the Aqua Cultist character a set of spin-off books. He gave Dust, fucking Dust, got like 6 or 7 books. Or like 4, I don't know. Some of these characters got too many fucking books. Wiz got a couple books. But the fact that Dust and his party get books, like, that was weird. But if you actually if you read the Konosuba light novels, you find out that there's one part in the very beginning of Konosuba. This is like right after, this was when Kazuma was still living in the stables. They didn't have the house. He had just gotten like Megumin and Darkness, or trying to figure shit out. He trades parties with Dust, and his skills come in so handy that, like, that party loves Kazuma. Dust has the worst day of his life, and then once they trade back, like, it's a fucked episode. I mean, a fucked chapter, a couple chapters, but like, there's moments in the books that really do speak volumes that they can't animate or didn't animate for whatever reason. So I definitely recommend trying a light novel that you know, an anime that you've gotten up to the point that they're done making material for. Go back to that source material and start going forward into that like I did with Konosuba. You will not regret that. Or with Sword Art, an anime you hate, and then want to try the light novel instead. I actually like the Sword Art novels.
The light novels are better.
And that's how, and like I said, that's how the other one happened. It was Konosuba, Sword Art, and The Isolator. And The Isolator was pushed on to me because it's from the same author as Sword Art Online, and goddamn, why doesn't that have an anime? I guess there's just not enough content, because it's kind of battly.
I'll definitely check those out.
It's grown up My Hero Academia. Like, a very serious My Hero Academia. The main hero fights so that he can get himself, like, the memories of himself removed from everybody around him so he could go live in isolation. And everyone would forget him. Very deep, very fucked up story. It starts off with just a family getting murdered. It's worth a read. I wish we could watch it. We can't. It don't exist. So that's future stuff. So I think we're about done. Does anybody have anything else for this one? Or do we move on to our secret topic?
I think I already talked about my future stuff earlier. I kind of got skipped, but you know, the basic stuff. Don Machi.
Yeah.
Nagatoro. Blah blah blah. You know. Data Life's ongoing. I still haven't watched it, but yeah.
Data
I'm pretty
Live,
simple
man. We got to catch up to Data Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just waiting for the day they finally adapt. I completely lost my train of thought.
I'm excited to
But
see
yeah.
more Tomazaki. Season 2 for bottom tier character Tomazaki got announced.
Oh, nice.
See, I couldn't get into that.
A lot of people can't. Kevin couldn't do it either. But I think it's just the fact that Kevin tried to be a pro Smash player. You know, like he doesn't want to see about a guy who is like best in Japan. I don't know. I liked it. Saga of Tongue of the Evil's getting another season.
Oh yeah,
oh
that's
yeah.
giga hype.
Oh yeah. See, I'm just looking at my light novel shelf going from here. I don't know if Kuma Bear or Combatants will ever get other seasons, but with the anime that was Combatants Will Be Dispatched basically being god awful, you know, it hurts. The pain. Because it gets so good later.
That's depressing.
Yeah, they're not going to realize it till season 2, but they cast all the wrong bitches. The English dub cast is just awful. I mean, all the right people are there, they're just in the wrong roles. They don't know it yet. But, you know, paychecks. I'm not going to go into details. I know too much. So, secret topic time, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This
Yep.
is something I sprung out in the last podcast, which hasn't even been released yet. We're going to get it up there. It is a podcast on, you know, nerd/geek culture. It's mostly a bunch of dudes talking about movies for a long time. I'm the little white flag waving guy in the middle going anime, but you know, it's a good episode. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get some more of these anime episodes out. But I've got a secret topic for you guys. So we've talked rewatches that we've recently seen. We've talked stuff that we are currently or trying to process through watching, and we've talked about what the future lies for us anime-wise individually. Here we are. It is now time to talk about an anime or two. Keep it to one or two. You know, we're going to have another roundtable at some point, and there will be more anime episodes, so you will still be able to, you know, continue being weebs on, you know, camera and audio. But this topic, give me a show or two that you would consider to be some of the greatest of all time for you.
Ooh, that's tough.
If you guys need a minute to think, I can go ahead and field this one.
That's kind of like, ooh,
Yeah,
bro.
that's really tough, dude.
Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't put it in the chat. I kind of wanted you guys to... I kind of wanted to spring it on you and see where we went from here. So I'll go ahead and field the first one because I feel like you guys need to like search your brains for a moment. But for me, one of my all-time, and like I said, if any of you guys are ready when I'm done with my first one, we can each do one, and then we can come back and do the second one. But first off for me, Mongolian Chop Squad, or Beck, was one of the greatest anime. I rewatched it easily 6-7 times. The dub is phenomenal. They dubbed all the music, but the story spoke out to me when I was younger at that time, and it really it helped shape me and myself. So it's about a kid named Yukio Tanaka, and he's bullied a lot, very socially awkward, very shy. You learn early on, and a lot of this is foreshadowed. They don't just openly tell you any of it, but his father had recently passed away, and he starts thinking about life and contemplating life in general. Like, what is life in any way? Why are we here in the first place? He starts to realize that he's just going to do the same thing his recently deceased father did, go into, you know, the business world, become a salaryman, and, you know, die at some point for whatever reason. He wants to feel like he feels like, is this really where life is? He's so apathetic that, like, he just, you know, he's lost in his head. He's ignoring his friends. He even had a shot to go hang out, and he was hanging out with a group of friends, and he had a shot at this girl he'd had his eyes on, but he blows it big time because he can't bring himself out of that, like, funk. It also doesn't help that at that point, like, there was also a fight in the alleyway and a gun was pulled, and he starts to further figure, like, life out. Like, you know, damn, like, that could have been the end, you know what I mean? So he gets really deep into it. But no, one day he's out for a walk, and he had a couple meetings. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when the gun got pulled and all that, that was the first time he had met Busuke. But he meets this guy named Ryusuke, and his dog, because his dog bites his arm, he starts to bleed, actually. Ryusuke gives him some tissues, tells him, sorry about that. And what Yukio does, or I guess we'll say Koyuki, because no one calls him that in the show, but what Koyuki does is he goes to Ryusuke's to return those tissues, and, it's Japan. They're very customary there. It's a respect thing. So he goes to return it at this little fishing shop, like, pawn place, and he just hears this, like, wailing guitar coming from a shack on the side of the house. From then on, Ryusuke takes him under his wing, starts teaching him guitar. He meets her sister. A band gets formed, not necessarily with him in it at first, but it's probably some of the best, like, 25, 26 episodes of anime you could really watch, especially if you're into music. Fantastic thing. I would never have picked up a guitar if it wasn't for that show. Like,
Nice.
it changed the way I looked at music and the way I looked at life. Very good show. The art can turn people off. It's very realistic. And I think the show was like early 2000s, so it's not exactly the most known thing in the world. But it also didn't help that they couldn't release it when they got the licenses for it, because for years, or he said years, but I don't know if it was truly years. But anyway, I was told by somebody who was involved in the production, I'm not going to mention who, but they couldn't release the anime for years after it was done and recorded and ready, because the name of the guitar, and they didn't know why couldn't. It was just the U.S. government saying, you're using copyrighted shit, you can't release this show that you own, the rights to. The reason was B.B. King's guitar, Lucille, was in it. They reference a guitar that was stolen. There was a guy who was shot and killed on stage, and he had a guitar named Lucille. And that guitar goes down to Ryusuke, gets him in a lot of trouble. But, like, it was because the guitar was named Lucille, that was an intellectual property owned by B.B. King's people. Like his, whoever's got the rights to all his stuff right now. So They had to change the guitar. They changed it to Prudence, and boom, anime could come out. It's pretty old. I loved it. It's worth a listen, a watch, whatever you do. I like it.
I got mine.
Okay, so we're gonna go with the singles, and then we'll come back for a second round. Go ahead and take the floor.
I don't think I would have a double, but I only got my single. I would say Violet Evergarden.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's to me, man. When I first got into it, it was like, what the hell is this? The animation's great. The storytelling was phenomenal. It's like I'm watching a movie with each freaking episode. And with each episode, it just tells like each character's story, because they can't type or read or whatever. So Violet, who was a ex-child soldier in a war, lost parts of her body and this and that. She becomes like a auto memory doll. So basically, she could read and type, and she go like throughout the whole countryside and forge letters and stuff like that for friends or family or loved ones, or the ones who are near on their deathbed and this and that. So to me, that's like one of the best fantastic ways of a storytelling that I could ever get out of an anime. The movie, however, tugs on my heartstrings so much I couldn't even fucking finish it.
Oh, like, damn.
It got to the point where I was bawling my eyes out, because that's how in tune I was with the show and in the movie, that I couldn't finish it.
Oof.
It was bad. But that's my greatest of all time. I'll still rewatch it every now and then if I have,
one of the greats. I'm definitely not saying number one, because I can't pick a number one.
I'm gonna try to think of a second one, but I know for sure Violet Evergarden's my.
We'll see. Maybe my second choice will spark. If my second choice isn't stolen by either of these two, which of you would like to go next?
I can go next.
Because
I am going to omit Spice and Wolf from this conversation, because most of my sentimentality comes from the light novels more so than the anime. But My other number one of all time, and it's going to sound pedestrian because it is currently the number 4th ranked anime of all time on my anime list, is Steins Gate.
Nice.
Good
Nice.
choice.
Steins Gate is just. I've watched some live action science fictions that don't even compare to the amount of like creativity and originality that go into that anime. You know, the main character is Chunibyo. He poses the role of this mad scientist named Hoen Kyoma, and he has a manic laugh, and he always talks about the quote unquote organization coming after him. He talks to himself on his phone a lot.
Yeah,
He's a
dude's
very
a
eccentric.
fucking trip.
He's a very eccentric main character, and actually, it's shamefully a lot of people drop the show because of him because he's so eccentric. But there's a reason he does it. He has a friend who is she's a little slow, and he calls her his hostage, but he actually does that as a means of protecting her because it makes her feel secure. It's as weird as that sounds, but the mad scientist persona, I guess, kind of gives him kind of that alpha vibe. But yeah, they basically I'm gonna try to explain that with as little spoilers as possible. But they invent a phone that cannot time travel but can send text messages to the past. So they're only able to alter the past by sending a specific text message that's under 32 characters to a specific person. And they are successful in a lot of their attempts, but as they continue this technology, the powers that be start to catch on to them. Shadow governments, world governments, stuff like that, and things get really dicey. And you know, it goes with the old saying, "Don't fuck with the past." But watch it if you haven't. I just highly recommend it. It is greatness. I mean, the characters are all great. You know, the main character, Okabe Rintaro, aka Hoen Kyoma, his friend, his childhood friend Shina Mayuri, who is like just the most adorable thing ever, and of course Makise Kurisu, who is a fellow physics student as Okabe, along with Okabe, but she's like 10 times more successful and been in publications and stuff. And you got Daru, my man Daru. He sits on his ass and plays dating simulators all day.
Nice.
He's actually in. He makes cameo appearances in Robotics Notes.
Yeah, and he's kind of their tech guy. He handles the most of the wiring and circuitry building when they come up with their crazy inventions. But yeah, it is a fantastic anime, and it's one thing I prioritize in anime is cast chemistry, and there is no anime in this world that does it better than Steins Gate. The cast are
Honestly,
just like meant to be together.
I've got to agree with you there. I'm having a really hard time thinking of any characters that just complemented each other so well than as much as they did.
Yeah, no, Steins Gate. I don't want to go any further just because it's something you gotta experience.
Definitely
But-
go give that a listen. If there's, I mean, damn, I know my suggestions were good, but like, if you haven't seen Steins Gate, get out there.
And I'm warning you, it does kind of have a slow start, especially if
Yeah.
you're not into like slice of life archetypes. The first 4 or 5 episodes are very, very slice of life, but to say shit hit the fan is an understatement. A very big understatement. Please watch it. Do not
Oh, yeah.
drop it. But yeah, that's my number one.
Very nice.
I guess for me, my number one would honestly have to be an anime that I started watching about a year or two ago, and it's Kaguya-sama, Love is War. And it's honestly because, well, it kind of goes with how I guess Cruz kind of explained earlier.
I did.
And
Space.
well,
I did.
how you kind of found how you found yourself in life, basically.
Oh, okay, okay.
With me though, I guess it's trying to understand myself better. As you know, I know a lot of people have recently said that I tend to say things that seem a bit more, I guess, conceited or seem outlandish. And I'll be honest, you know, it happens a lot, you know, not only on social media, but around my family as well. And one of the characters I honestly feel like I compared a lot myself to would be Yu Ishigami. Honestly, I feel like the guy that has his headphones always listening to music,
yeah.
playing video games.
Poor guy. He's got some really funny scenes though. They abuse
True.
that boy.
That is very true. And it's so funny because I was like, this guy, I feel like, you know, a lot of people misunderstand him because he says things in the wrong way that make him seem kind of creepier, kind of like a douchebag. but it's just that he's very caring. He just doesn't say it in a more, I guess, tactic way to where it doesn't hurt someone.
He's
on an
very
emotional
direct.
basis. Yes. And I feel like, with this character, I could learn a lot from said character and to be less direct and be more, I guess, on a more understandable basis with my emotions and other people around me as well. And that's why that's one of my favorite animes.
So that's kind of where we're sitting with a lot of these shows. If it can impact your life to that level, that's kind of where you want to stick with it. They speak out. Mongolian Chop Squad was certainly that for me. But yeah, that's cool. So we pretty much made a circle. We're going to do one more and see how we feel from there. You got your hand up. You can go ahead and go, man.
Got
Go
my
for it.
second one, dude. Fucking
Nice.
Gintama. Fucking Gintama.
I'll go out of line just for you.
I will binge the fuck out of Gintama, dude. Like, dude, if you haven't watched Gintama, you just got to.
First time tonight where I can truly safely say I've never watched that show. Or at least even dabbled in it.
Dude, you're gonna laugh your ass off in majority of these episodes because it's so fucking hilarious, dude. It's long. I think it's 400 episodes long. But still, the rewatch is it's worth it.
Rewatch? I'm not gonna get through it in the first fucking run. 400 episodes.
Wait, 400? Oh,
I think. Let me Google it.
Jesus.
That's on my watch list. Oh man.
I feel like it's been sitting there for a long time though.
Yeah, it
easily
really has.
10 years.
Because
I remember seeing cosplay for it when I started out like in the convention circuit in like 2015. Not like attending like back in 2012, but like actually pushing those things. I would see a lot of Gintama cosplay.
Well, seems like I'm gonna be a total shut-in the whole year. Gonna have to watch that and One Piece.
367 episodes.
Jesus.
I would literally binge watch. You know what? This is on my next watch list. Fuck it. I'm gonna start over for the second time.
How many episodes?
387.
Holy
Yikes.
crap.
367 with 2 OVAs, 2 specials, and 3 movies.
Giga yikes.
Mm-hmm.
That's worse than Hayate. And when I try to give people Hayate no Gotoku, they're like, bro, 100 and what? Movies? Fuck off.
I was gonna say Hayate, but growing up watching Gintama and remembering all those fucking funny scenes, it gets super funny, and then next thing you know, it gets serious. And
I have a
bloody fighting
hard
scenes.
time recommending things that don't go beyond like 2 seasons. Because I just don't want to consume someone else's life. Like, they didn't ask for this. Show them something they can just get done in like 12 to 24 and be out of there,
Dude, some girl at work today was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to watch One Piece. And I told her, you know what, good luck. We're in like 1,000th episode. We're
Jeez.
20 plus years of content.
There's watching
Episodes,
shows and
no.
then there's lifelong goals. Those are 2 completely different things. One Piece qualifies in the latter category.
I could probably finish, if I watch a certain amount of episodes a day, I should finish Gintama in about a month or 2 months, give or take.
That's insanity. Like, I don't know about you guys. I can watch about 2 or 3 episodes. There's not many I could just totally binge before I have to move on to something else. But I have a really short attention span. That's why my streams are only about 2 hours. They're not like 8-hour monolith streams or anything.
Yeah. Like if I could watch 6 anime episodes a night, and that's 367 divided by 6, that's 61 days. So that's roughly 2 months. I could probably binge watch it.
It's a lot of time. So let's go around the gauntlet again. You went with Gintama. I was gonna do one that I was looking at my box set over here for, and I'm like, bro, that's basic. Don't be basic. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Not just that, but like, it really is a thing where if you haven't, I couldn't fairly recommend Lucky Star to anybody who's never watched anime before. And that's what my goal when I think about these types of shows. That's why I think Mongolian Chop Squad speaks, because I've showed it just to musician friends, and they're just like, "Holy hell!" But yeah, I'm gonna forego Lucky Star, and I'm gonna actually go with Utaware Rumono. And that one is I'm working on a YouTube video there. The problem with that is I've recently had to start recording my gameplay, which gameplay footage from a PlayStation 5 is ridiculous and large, and this is a fucking visual novel at its core. So it's been a rough playthrough, but I'm glad I'm experiencing the story. So Uta, because I ain't saying that whole ass name, but Uta, bro, it's the first season was amazing, and this is the one I'm trying to push right now because it's where everything really all started. Game-wise, though, it was the final game in the franchise to release so far, save for Zon 2, of course, which is not out yet. But Prelude to the Fallen came out in, what, 01? So, like, it's like 2000 or 2021. All I know is it's been sitting on my shelf for over a year, so I'm finally cracking it because in July of 2022, we are getting the adaptation of the third game in the trilogy, the final game. So, back to the first one, though. The anime came out in 2006, I believe. I know I have a fucking script here I've been writing for YouTube, and I'm not even going to bother opening that right now. But the game itself dropped in 2002 on the PC. Since then, it's been ported to the PlayStation 2, the PSP, I think it hit Dreamcast, and eventually it hit on the... No, it didn't hit Dreamcast. It did not. That was canon. I'm dumb.
PS2, PSP, PS4, PS Vita.
Yeah. Vita and 4.
PC.
So... And the fucked up part was that the sequel games, which are amazing, were only on the Vita. Now they're all on PC, thankfully. We can push them out a little more. But, like, Uta has had a really difficult upbringing. From the first season getting ignored because of its... the color scheme is it's not bright. Back then, the anime you were watching at the time were, like, Negima. That was out. Pony Pony Dash, School Rumble... all that wacky stuff and colorful shit that got my, attention, I ignored Uta up until a friend of mine recommended me the game Mask of Deception, which is the second in the franchise. I'm like, dude, I gotta play the first. Turns out, the first you can only really get pirated illegally at the time and translated to be able to actually play it. So I said, fuck it, there's a 24, 25 episode anime here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this run. Holy shit. By episode 3, when things hit the fan, like, it goes from being, hey, this is kind of lighthearted and chill, so, and it pushes into Code Geass level of rising up and taking over the fucking world. Like, truly, when you think about it, it gives you those isekai vibes. And that's what I thought it was all the way up to the very end of the first episode. But it is not an isekai, and that's all I'm willing to say on that statement. When everything comes to light, holy shit. And then when the sequel games and finally these sequel anime come into light, dear God. The only unfortunate thing about the series is that when the sequel anime came out, which was called False Faces, which I don't know why they didn't just call it Mask of Deception, but when the False Faces came out, it was god-awful. It was one of the worst adaptions of a video game I've ever seen in anime form. I don't know if there was is anything worse out there. The Mario Brothers show from the 80s or 90s or whatever was more in tune with their video game than this was. This was hard. They also changed the names because the show has its own language. I'm going to stop here because, dear God, you have to experience this, but... Like, wait till you see the YouTube. Keep an eye on the YouTube. If you're not subscribed, go check out THP Media. We do currently host the Ride Home podcast, so if you're listening to this on the YouTube, or on the Spotify, go check out the YouTube there. If you're interested in this subject, because we are going to be doing a Utaware Rumono, pre-game video to talk about the series, the games, and how everything got all leading up to this point of in July when they dropped the final anime season and the final action game, which is the Utawarume no Zan 2. But yeah, Uta's a trip. Get out there and go watch it. Like, after Steins Gate. Once you're done with Steins Gate, I can't honestly say that it's better than Steins Gate. But once you're done with Steins Gate, move on to Uta. You will thank me later. All right. Either of you two want to go? Or are we about spent?
Is it Reed's turn?
Yeah, I don't think it matters,
Well-
but I can go next. So,
Bleak
marginally
Tiger.
beating out my number 3. In this, I've been kind of deliberating on this while you guys were talking.
Ooh.
I gotta go, despite as much as I wanted to say Nishijo, which is my number 3.
Ooh, very nice.
My number 2 is an anime I own no merch of, but has my most rewatches, almost tenfold my second most rewatch. Toradora. The greatest,
Nice.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good one.
the greatest rom-com. Not even an anime, just in general. It does not get much better than Toradora, honestly. The main character and the main girl have damn near perfect chemistry. The story progression is on point. That story could not have progressed any better. The ending was fantastic. The show introduced the characters in the best ways possible. They introduced more characters as the show go on. It has cute scenes. It has funny scenes. It is everything you need out of a rom-com. And you just gotta watch it. I don't want to tell you what happens or any of that stuff, but it's just like, man, the main characters.
It's a really good one.
Yeah. What was it, Ryuji and Taiga?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're a perfect match. There's no it's just from the get-go you can just tell. That's not even a spoiler because you'll figure that out in the first 2 episodes. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail, but that pool scene is my favorite scene in anime of all
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
That was a heartstring puller, and it snapped a heartstring. That was my favorite scene in anime of all time, and that's what barely won this one out over Nichijou, was that specific scene. Was just, man, Toradora is a sight to behold. It is peak rom-com. It does not much get any better than that.
The
Well,
Christmas scene.
So while I rant about something that people have never seen before, you're over here like having an internal conflict, trying to remember scene by scene what you want to lay out on the battlefield. That's rough, dude. Toradora is great though. It's I haven't rewatched it enough, but it's good.
It's greatness, but I'm hesitant to say any spoilers and go into too much detail about what I'm talking about is about, because I like seeing people react to stuff I like. It's just my personality, so I'm gonna
Oh
leave
yeah,
it.
for sure.
It's just like I used to watch nothing but rom-coms, and then I watched Toradora, and I stopped watching rom-coms. Can you guess why?
You're just like, it peaked. You can't do any better. You're done.
I watched a couple others after it, Quintessential Top, which was pretty good, but
And that's good.
And
See, the more shows we reference, the more tags I can justify throwing into the YouTube and the Instagram, and we will catch flies. So, if you're checking this out, whether you got my business card at a-kon, or you have been a longtime fan of the show, maybe you just stumbled upon this one over the internet randomly through some social media tag, leave a comment below. We all kind of want to see how you reacted, especially if you already have seen some of these shows. Give us your 2 cents down in the comments. Let's get more interactive on this channel, man. I'm tired of uploading to brick walls.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Toradora is really good.
Toradora is just a landmark anime.
I'm throwing that on my rewatch list for the soon. Probably pre-Anime Fest soon.
I rewatch it I've watched it in 2015 for the first time, which I know that like I said, I kind of went on that non-anime pilgrimage, so that wasn't that far
Yeah.
away. But I rewatch it every Christmas. Like, it is a
Yeah.
tradition of mine to rewatch Toradora on Christmas, and sometimes I'll even
Interesting.
rewatch it casually. Like, sometimes I'll just rewatch it casually when I feel like it. It's just the anime's that good to me. It's in the same boat as Steins Gate.
Christmas is around the time I would rewatch, say, Canon or Lucky Star. For some reason, it brings out the the TBS, production. Fucking Chunibyo is a Christmas one for me. I don't know why, but that's around the time I do those like annual rewatches.
Yeah, for me it's just because Christmas is there's like 3 episodes revolved around it, and that fucking Santa Claus
Yeah.
scene. The fucking Santa Claus scene. Oh my god. I'm gonna start crying on podcast.
No, don't remind me, because that's one of the best scenes for me in Toradora.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's on the rewatch list
Oh.
now. I might
Damn,
actually start it later tonight.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's like now I want to rewatch it for
Oh,
the
shit.
11th time.
And the dub's actually pretty fucking good.
The dub and the sub are completely on par with each other. Because I base the entire like voice acting of that off that pool scene, and both were very, very, very good. Like very good. So if you like dubs, watch the dub. If you like subs, watch the sub. Both
Yeah.
are equal in my
Go,
opinion.
go do you. Logician, do you have one for us today?
Actually, while on the subject, I'm most likely gonna have to rewatch Toradora as well because I assume everyone here's gonna rewatch it.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely gonna get on that.
it's gonna
I
happen.
started something.
But I guess my other favorite anime would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and that's because it's honestly astounding how it could be #1 on my anime list.
Well, there's
For, like-
reasons for that, but I don't want to reveal them on podcast. I'll cut this part out. This is where the rest of the audience will hear a beep, but that is the only reason it's #1. Your true #1 is your #2, which I believe is Spy Family.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude! I need to check that out.
Because the top like 5 and top 10 fluctuate every season, but that one never fucking moves. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. But just so you know,
yeah.
why it's #1. But continue.
So yeah, another thing about it is that it's always, I've always compared it to the original Full Metal Alchemist, and I love the fact that Brotherhood follows up on the manga as where the original really does it, which is why I would probably say it's better than the original, as where some people would say the opposite just because they prefer that. And I think I own both series in my collection. I'd have to rewatch them both just in case, but that's honestly one of my favorites because, again, it's always being compared to each other, the original and the remake, and it's always funny about how people go on and on about it,
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, personally, I liked Brotherhood better than the original FMA, but
Me too.
it's not something I can personally say I'm gonna go back and rewatch anytime soon, and I haven't done a rewatch on it. It's not. I don't hold that high of a candle up for it, but it's a good anime regardless. Like, especially for people who are newer into anime, I feel like it's a good intro.
Yeah, definitely. FMA is probably one of the better like gateways.
Yeah,
Probably one of the best in my opinion. That and like Cowboy Bebop and stuff. But
yeah. It's hard to think of much broader than that. Like, unless you know the person and can be like, oh, that you really like this set of movies, try this.
What about Ghost in the Shell?
yeah,
I like the movies.
it's a hair for a gateway anime. I think it's just a hair,
I wouldn't say
like,
it wouldn't be gateway.
overdriven on the edgy category.
It's
but-
like recommending somebody to watch a movie trilogy like The Matrix. It's
I
not.
can do that.
It's not like, oh, anime. Let me tell you what anime you need to check out.
Yeah.
Especially because like you can get really confused with Ghost in the Shell. You could get the live action film. You could end up in Standalone Complex, which stands alone, motherfuckers. They're two different universes, obviously. Personally, the first 2 films were my favorite, and they will always stand out. Though Standalone Complex was for developing the world and developing like these characters more. It was really cool to see, because like it really had that like villain of the day, or of the week, of the episode type flow. Standalone Complex is very much its own thing, but the films were good for what they are, especially the first one, dude. Like, it hooks you in. But seeing everything that goes down in the second one, you're just like, Jesus Christ, this is really getting out there. Go check out the films for sure. But yeah, we've run a pretty good course here. We're sitting at let me see, try to remember where to look. An hour 36. That's really good. Even with cuts, we're probably sitting at a good hour and a half episode here. So we will probably stop this one here. So I have ideas for the future. I'm thinking, like I said, I want to do the anime, like what got you into anime and stuff, and what was it like growing up with anime, like similar to what we just did with the nerd culture episode, but focusing entirely on anime, not films or different fandoms. We're doing just the solitary one, because we had people talking about the Marvel universe, we had people talking about Star Trek. There was a whole good broad thing in there, and this is going to release after that episode, so I'm thinking do the same thing but with anime. And then another thing I want to do is, and this is going to just fuck us up entirely, but anime debates. I would like to get into some of those. Those of you who know. But I host some successful debate panels. I've recently stepped down from doing the waifu debates because that's one less panel I have to do every year. And someone else is doing it, and it's great. He does an awesome job. Shout out to Mark Anthony and Where to Waifu. They're doing their thing, dude. He's selling merch. He's taken that to a level that I couldn't take it to. So I stopped applying my panels. At one point, a panelist director approached me like, "Hey, this guy's shot for shot copying you. What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Not copying me. This is Mark Anthony. Give it to him. I'm done." He's doing great. He's doing what he does. We kind of came to an accord outside of a convention hotel. We were feeling good.
Shout out from me to Mark Anthony too. That man's a homie.
But yeah, shout out to them. They're doing what they do. But like I was talking more about like broad. Naturally, waifu debates are going to happen. That's just, you can't not have debates without best girl / waifu battle. But what you do have is the other topics I used to do. I had some sub versus dub debates. We've done like manga versus anime, and we would do a specific series to make it fair, so it wouldn't be like you can't speak for all of manga and anime because obviously there are differences series by series, but like we had that as a debate. We've done characters fighting each other, and that kind of stuff. So I would like to see that again. I'll just come up with a good 30 or 40 debate topics in general, and I will post the master list and probably if y'all want to add to that list, I will post that in our Ride Home channel, because anime belongs in this podcast. I feel like I have, it's been a long time coming that I do an anime episode. Just getting all you weebs in one place is very fucking difficult. Like, Steve was busy tonight. It would have been cool to have him in on an episode. Yeah, y'all are hard to round up, but I'm glad we finally got together and we got to do it. This was really fun. Hopefully we can have another anime roundtable in the future, and we'll have a little more to throw out there. Another anime-related idea, doing convention stories. And that's the one where we have to prep in advance and start omitting names. But convention stories is just an entire fucking episode on its own. Maybe more than one.
No spoilers, but AFES has an entire rule over something I did.
Yeah. I know about structural hotel changes because of the event. There is some shit that went down at some of these cons, dude. I'm glad I don't work at A-Fest anymore, but at the same time, it's like I miss the being on the inside. Now I only work for the ones I work for, Laredo Con, but his group and their shows at the moment. But there are some other shows that I haven't been able to talk about yet. We're waiting on some confirmations. Hopefully we will have a DFW convention in October that I will be a part of. But no speaky yet, so I will learn more when I meet up with said directors of that convention this weekend, because I'm going to a-kon to work programming, of course. My main goal is to just mingle. I'm getting these business cards out there. We're going to get this viewership up, guys. So check it out. If you're new and you saw this at a-kon and you finally see us upload an anime episode, welcome. Feel free to check out all the content that, Trigger Happy Projects has been putting out. Follow us on everything, Instagram, Twitter, all that crap. You got the business card, but if you don't, Links will be in the description below. Guys, do you have any last words before we conclude this episode? I feel ya.
Good talk.
Good talk.
Good talk. Indeed.
The Ride Home Podcast, THR logo, and intro tracks are original products of Trigger Happy Projects Media Group. Please do not duplicate or distribute without permission.